What matters more, money or health? Most people answer quickly, almost automatically. Most of the people I come from would say health. There is nothing more important than health. Others would say money. But when I hear those answers, I always feel like there is something important that is missing because the question feels clear, but the reasoning behind the answer usually isn't. It is typical when answers like these are almost engraved in your subconscious and we just simply say them out loud without thinking. I was one of these folks. And then one day I went on a tangent. I started to think about this stuff and I arrived at the following. Instead of answering it directly, I asked myself a different kind of question. Not which one is more important, but instead, why someone think it is. And then I kept asking why again and again. For the engineers listening, if you have tried to identify a root cause of a problem, one simple approach to follow is the 5 whys approach. And this is exactly what I did. I asked why multiple times in order to arrive at the root of the problem. So let's start with the answer people often give first. Health is more important than money. It sounds noble. It is almost unquestionable. But let's double click on it and ask, why is that? Why is health more important? Because if you lose your health, life feels like suffering. Okay, that makes sense. But why does suffering matter so much? Because when you're sick, you can't enjoy life. Okay, why does enjoying life matter? Because the experiences, relationships, and time with people you love are what make life meaningful. And why are those things meaningful? Well, because they are the moments that make life feel worth living. And if that's true, then health isn't important by itself. It's important because it protects the ability to live those moments. Now let's go the other direction for fun. Some people say something that sounds far less romantic. They say money matters more. At first, it can sound cold, materialistic, but it also depends on the cultures, the social status, of course, and at least by the people I have been surrounded by, answering like this would indeed sound cold. Regardless, let's ask the same questions. Why would money be more important? Because without money, you can't provide for yourself or your family. Okay, why does providing matter? Because insecurity creates stress and instability. Okay, why does instability matter? Because it limits choices. Why do choices matter? Because freedom allows you to shape your life. And why does shaping your life matter? Because the control over your time and environment is what allows you to pursue what actually matters to you. So again, money isn't important by itself either. It's important because it creates the conditions that allow life to unfold the way you want. And this is where the question becomes interesting. Health protects the ability to live. Money protects the conditions to live well. One guards the body, the other one guards the environment around the body. And then I arrived at both seem essential, but both are also incomplete because perfect health in a life of constant struggle will feel fragile, and unlimited wealth inside a failing body can feel hollow. So the real question might not be which one is more important. It might be something that's more uncomfortable, something we rarely ask ourselves. If both are tools, then the real question becomes, what exactly are we trying to protect when we pursue them? Because once you answer that, the priority between money and health might look very different. And you might realize the original question was never the real one. The real question was always hidden underneath it. And interestingly, most of us spend decades chasing one of these things without ever asking the deeper why. Thank you for listening, and until next time.